Well, good evening, everybody, from Oberndorfen High School. Tonight, the Trojans play host to the Indians of Juniata here at the ballpark. An early start tonight because the rain is coming down. It has been raining all day, and the rain continues to come down here, so we got about a 20-minute early start. Here, and the opening kick is going to come down here to the Trojans at the 12. Up to the 15 he comes. This is Fight, taking it all the way out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And it'll be put in play right there by the Trojans. First and 10, UDA. Field in remarkable condition for the rain that we've had today and the rain that continues to come down in showers now. Sometimes a little heavy. It had quit almost by the time I got in here, but now it's coming down quite heavily again. And it's going to be a sloppy field that the Trojans will try to negotiate in tonight. But we'll see what happens now as they go to work on offense. The ball's going to be slippery, needless to say. Anson Moore, the QB. He gets the snap. He wants to throw in the first chance he's got. He's still on his feet and in trouble back there. Now he's going to be tackled for maybe a yard loss. The ball came loose, but it was ruled down. So he'll lose a pair on that one. It'll be second down and 12. Second down and 12 for the Trojans. Backs are split in the backfield. Be one on each side of Anson Moore this time. This time Anson gives it to Cooper, and Cooper will dive back to around the 29-yard line, picking up about 3 on the play. It'll be third down and 9. Trojans hurry up the offense now. They're set to go immediately. Third and 9 for the Trojans. Moore hands this one off again, and this time they're going to be trapped for a yard or so lost this time as Markle with the carry that time for the Trojans gets back to the original line of scrimmage, a loss of a yard on the play. So it'll bring up a fourth down and 10. The ball at the 27-yard line, so that's where the Trojans will punt the ball out of there. Now Markle will go back to make the punt for the Trojans. He'll be stepping back now as the rain gets actually heavier, if that's possible. Really coming down here now. See what the snap looks like. Good snap. And the punt is high. Into the showers it goes. And not very deep, however. Out here it's going to be down by the Trojans. Cooper making the down for the Trojans at the 46-yard line. So excellent field position for the Indians on the Trojan 46-yard line. You can see the rain coming down in waves here now. Breeze picking up a little bit from west to east here at the ballpark, or across from where we are over to the other side. Just so it doesn't start blowing in here, we'll be okay. First down for the Indians. Handoff, and he slips down right at the line of scrimmage. He'll get nothing on that. Maybe lost a yard. You see him make the cut and slip out there. The turf coming up with him. So it'll be second down and 11. First team to score tonight wins. It is a prediction because, boy, it is coming down. Storms were predicted to occur around 5 o'clock. Well, the storm never got here, but the rain has been here all day, and we need the rain, but not right now. Right now we don't. Here comes a little tail back up the middle with it, and he breaks into the secondary, still on his feet, drives it down to the 26-yard line, where the Trojans finally make the stop. Culva might have made the stop in there. Josh Lesher, rather, making the stop. These numbers will probably won't fade too much tonight because the turf in pretty good shape here. Not too many muddy spots, just some spots getting soaked with rain. So here we go on a first and 10. Pitches back over here to that little tailback. He'll spin around the left side and stays in bounds down to the 20, or down to the 14-yard line. Maybe 13, but the 13-yard line. It'll be first and 10, Juniata. First and 10, Indians on the 13. 40's got it, and a bunch of Trojans have him that time. stopping him pretty quickly in there, getting off the bottom of the pile. 28 Cooper getting off the bottom that time. Cody initial hit, and then a whole bunch of Trojans in there to stop him, but good hit that time by that Cody Cooper, or Cody Cooper, make it. There's two good spots to be here tonight at the ballpark. One is in the booth up here, so far so good, and the other one is in the refreshment stand. Otherwise, people are going to get soaked. Pitches back to 2-3. He'll try to cut it upfield, and he gets a couple of yards. Finally hit in there by Wiest, number 51 for the Trojans. It's a gain of a couple that time. It'll be third down. 3rd and 7 from the 10. Third and 7 from the 10. Trojans need to hold them here. Boy, the officials are going to get drenched. You can see it's warm, though. It's high 60s still here at the ballpark, so it's not a cold night. I guess if you're soaked it is, but otherwise. And here they're going to hold him up this time. A whole gang tackling out here going on by the Trojans. 22 Sims will get up off the bottom of that pile, but he was aided out there by about 6 other black shirts that time. No gain on that play. It'll be 4th down. So the Juniata Indians have driven it down here to the UDA 10, but the Trojans have held here a couple times, and see if we can't do it again now. Josh Gephardt out there trying to extol the fellas to dig in. So we'll see what happens. This is it, 4th down, 7. Handoff to 2-3. He cuts it up the middle, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. So they held him twice. The third time, however, gave him a lot of running room that time, and he goes in for the touchdown. It is 6-0 Juniata with an extra point try coming up. 19, yep. Extra point try coming up. Here's the kick. Looks good from here. It is good. PAT is good, and so lead 7-0 with 7:01 remaining here in the first quarter. Back with the Juniata kick in just a moment. Okay, ready to kick off is the Juniata Indians, and here's the kick coming all the way down here. Nice kick, going to be driving them back here to the 3-yard line, to the 5-10. 15 comes Fight, and he's going to be tackled at the just short of the 20-yard line. Fight returns it to the 18, to the 20-yard line, and it'll be or 19-yard line. At the 18, it'll be 1st and 10. 1st and 10 UDA. Rubenstein flanking on the near side of the field for UDA on this 1st down play. This time Amour over center. Hands this one off. Cooper with it. Cooper breaking into the secondary nicely. He gets a nice run that time all the way out to the 30-yard line goes Cody Cooper. That's an 11-yard run for Coop. And a 1st down for the Trojans now on their own 31-yard line. Good run that time. 1st and 10 UD. Okay, this time he'll go from the shotgun on this 1st and 10. Stay back a little bit here. No, now he's going to change the signal a little bit. Now he's set. Anson Amour looking. Firing one across the middle. It is incomplete. Intended for Rubenstein, but just a little bit off the fingertips, a little too far for Rubenstein to grab a hold of that one. So it is 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line for UD. Hand off this time again, and it's going to be back to the line of scrimmage. Markle running the ball that time. Very short gain on the play. Be 3rd down and just about 10. 3rd and 10 again now on the 3rd down. They'll go from the shotgun. He's rolling. He is going to pick it up and run with it. And he's got off the left side. He goes, needs a break or two here. Needs somebody to run some interference for him. He's going to be tackled from behind is Moore. Hanson Moore with a keeper that time with a nice run all the way down to the 38-yard line of the Juniata Indians. 1st down, UDA. Nice run that time by that Hanson Moore on the keeper. And got himself some good yardage on that play to the 38. See if we can do something here with it. Now the rain has slackened considerably now while the Trojans have the football. Here comes Cooper, or Markle rather, and he gets a couple of yards. 2. The 2nd down and, well, maybe 3. 2nd and 7, so short 3. 2nd down and 7 for the Trojans. Lesher checks into the ball game for UDA. He'll replace Cody Cooper for the Trojans. Wolf, the flanker on the far side of the field. Okay, let's see what we can do here on a 2nd down and a long 7. This time it's going to be Markle again. He gets maybe 1 yard or hardly anything on that play to the 36-yard line. 3rd down and 7. Not much on that one. 3rd down and a true 7 yards this time. Zach might have picked up a foot or two. Ball right at the 36-yard line of the Indians. Need to get something on this play. So let's see what we can do here as we perhaps pass this time. We'll see. Nope, it's going to be a reverse coming around this side with it. And he can't get away. This is Lesher that time on the reverse, but 33 of the Indians come up there and made a good stop on him. It'll bring up a 4th down now, and punting situation here for UDA. The ball back to the 37-yard line of the Indians. So the Trojans, if they can get a good punt off here, may be able to hold them deep. We'll see. Markle stepping back to the 48-yard line. Well, now he goes back to the 50-yard line. He'll be stepping up to about the 47 to get this one off. Let's see, in a wet ball night, we need a good snap here. We'll see the snap. Snap is good. And the kick. Nice kick this time. And let's see if we can grab that before it goes into the end zone. Nope, it's going to be a touchback. So that will bring it out to the 20-yard line where the Indians will put it in play 1st and 10 on their own 20. Indians with a league record of 2-3, overall 4-3 on the season. Trojans with that 1-6 and 0-5 in league play. So we'll see what we can do here on the defensive end of things. Now the rain, which had just slackened a little bit, now picks up again as the Indians have the football. It's been that way all day. Quarterback wants to throw. He rolls right, fires one over the right side. There it is, complete, and a nice low tackle made in there by Jordan Fight over on the far side of the field, but not until they get a 1st down out at the 32-yard line. And again, that rain is ridiculous. Wow, it is coming down, folks. Wow, man. 2 minutes, 47 seconds remaining now, and they start the clock. 2:40 left here in the opening period of the ball game, and it's not even quite 7 o'clock yet. About 2 minutes to 7, the regular starting time. On a 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Fullback's got it, and he runs into a couple of Trojans out there. Number 61, I think it was. That's at Harmon. He's going to check out of the ball game now. Here comes Troy Harmon. Big guy coming out. Also Cooper in on the last stop. Number 17 there is Kuppenhaver. 57, the Kephart. See who the big guy is out here. I think it's Snyder, but we'll see. It's Gain of just about 4 on the last play. Second down and a long 6. 22's got it. Spins over the right side, and he is going to be tackled. Another good stop made over there by a couple of Trojans. Jesse Weist, 51, making the stop out there with a little help from his friends. It's picking up 5 on the play or so. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. Ball at the 41-yard line now of the Juniata Indians. Minute and a half remaining in the first quarter. Need something to happen on this play here. Let's go in here tight. They only need about a yard. They may just sneak it up there for a yard. We'll see. Nope. Give it back here to the tailback, and he's got the yard and then some. Bangs down there for a first down. Fight along with Lesher making the stop out there for UDA. But it's first down now at the 46-yard line of the Indians. First and 10, Juniata. Juniata Indians from across the river probably feel a little bit like they're playing in the river tonight. Anyway, pitch back to that 2-3 guy, and he is going to be grabbed and spun down there. 78, but that is that Peck by Josh. What the heck, Peck in there making a stop on him. Correction, make that James Peck, not Josh Peck, James Peck. Coming over this way, they are up the middle with it. Big run, stumbles ahead, got a man to beat. It's going to be tackled back here, caught nicely by Wolf. Brent Wolf with the big tackle on the play that saved the bacon for the Trojans, at least temporarily now, as the ball is taken down to the 27-yard line of Upper Dauphin. A big first down run that time by the Juniata Indian fellows, who not only do we not have the names, but apparently the announcer, Bowser, doesn't have the names either. He's not saying anything, and that's going to do it as the period comes to an end. 7-0 Juniata, and we'll be right back. First and 10 UDA now, second quarter underway, or the Indians rather. And that's at number 23, Schertzer, and Schertzer will drive it down here to the 16-yard line, I think it is. Just shy of the 15-yard line. Another first down for Juniata. Again, the rain becoming more and more of a problem. A little bit of wind with it now, blowing them in here a little bit. But we're okay. First and 10 from the UDA 16-yard line. The quarterback's name is Williams. Whoops, he dropped that one, and now they're going to, well, he'll get a couple of yards out of it. Finally stopped in there by number 63, Chris Forty. Quarterback bobbled that one and still got himself about 4 yards out of it. Second down and 6. Coming up here for Juniata. No, just a second. Yep. Okay, second down and 6. Handoff coming around this side is, guy drives it down to about the 3-yard line. Stopped in there again this time by Cooper along with Fight. Takes it down to the 3.
First and goal for Juniata.
And that is enough for the first down, and makes it a first and goal from the 3-yard line for the Juniata Indians, who lead 7-0. And looking to tack some more on here in the second quarter. A rainy, rainy night here at UDA. Williams, the QB, hands this one off. And he'll dive in for a touchdown from 3 yards out. That was at number 12, was it? Yeah. 12 was a guy named Bryan, Zach Bryan. So, an extra point try will be coming up. Again, the Indians will go for the kick, to kick the extra point. They were successful the first time. Placement's down, kick is up, kick is good, I guess. Yeah, it's good. Just barely made it over the crossbar. Made about a 12-foot height that time over the crossbar. But it is now 14-0. Juniata on top with 10:19 remaining here in the first half of this ball game. Robinstein, Fight, and Wolf back to receive this kick from the Juniata Indians. And here it comes. And there it goes. Taken by Fight. He'll run it right out here. Well, he is going to be stopped out at the 30-yard line, maybe the 32, something like that. We'll see.
First down, Robert off an area.
Jordan Fearless running them back here. He just runs them back, and he'll take off out there and run them back quickly. So, it's 1st and 10 UD on their 31-yard line. It's sort of hard to see the ball out there this time with the lights shining on the fact that it looks like it's more like the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line of Upper Dauphin as they go to work here in the second quarter, trailing 14-0. Fight goes in motion. Pitches back here to Fight. He's going to want to throw one. Fires one downfield. Man, it's out here. It's going to be Tyler. Anyway, he is going to go all the way down to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. So the Trojans will not get shut out tonight on a pass from Fight to that Robinstein with the catch. 59 yards, I think he said. Yep. Good call is right. Good call that time. And Trojans tackle on 6 here. We'll see if we can get an extra point. Nice play. It's going to be Zigner in there. The Zinger in there to kick the extra point. Zig's counting the players. Said, yep, 14 of us. That should do it. I kid Zig. I like the kid. He's a good egg. Boy, I'll tell you, is it coming down now? I don't want to keep that up, folks, but if it can get heavier, it's gotten heavier. I didn't think it could, but it did. Placement stop. Kick is up. Kick is good. Way to go, Zigner. Atta boy, Zig. Zig said, I'm not standing out here getting soaked like this for nothing. Way to go, Zig. 55 remaining here in the first half of the ball game. The Trojans now trail by 7, 14-7, Juniata. UD really surprised the Indians that time with that little halfback pass there, or whatever they called that, from Fight to Robinstein. And it clicked, and boy, Robinstein was off to the races. Look at the field is really picking up water now. We started the thing here with some water down here about the 30-yard lines, but boy, the field is just about ready to not soak it up anymore. We're going to be playing in water here, period, in a little bit. Okay, kickoff coming up. Kids love it. I'm sure they love it. It's a warmish night, not cold, which would be really worse yet. But anyway, kickoff coming down here, picked up, fumble at the 20, 25. He's at the 30, the 35, and still on his feet up here before he is grabbed by James. What the heck, Peck, making the stop out here on him.
Indians will start 1st and 10 from their own 40.
And look at the water. Wow. Anyway, it is 1st and 10 for Juniata on their own 42-yard line, just about 43-yard line. Gonna have to worry if our automobiles are submerged over here in the parking lot. They'll have to tow us out of here. Anyway, here's a handoff, and no, he's going to throw it, but he's going to be tackled first. Good rush put on that time by Culva, I believe it was. Culva with a good hit on him. Way back, down, back to the 29. It'll be 2nd down and 18. 2nd down and just about 19.
About 18 for the Indians.
2nd and 19. Handoff to that 22 guy, and he is stopped immediately. Another good stop in there, this time by Josh Kephart, along with Fight and Sims, all in there on that stop. You think Kephart's excited about that one? Oh, yeah, he is. He wants his defense to start really playing some good football, and it's a good move that time. No gain on the play. It's still third down and about 19 or so. 3rd and 19. Third and 19. There he lost the football, but it's picked up by one of his guys, and he is hit immediately. Right there again. Weast in there with a stop with others, but young Juniata Indian lost the handle on that one, and you can imagine why, as he's unable to handle the snap. And that'll send the Trojans back to receive the punt now. One man dropping back there. I think it might be Fight will be the single man set back in the backfield to receive this punt. He'll be punting it up into a deluge, but we'll see how he makes out. See what the snap looks like. First of all, good snap. And the punt, kind of a low punt. It's going to be allowed to roll dead, and it does at the 30-yard line. Man, it just hit and quit. Anyway, Trojans take over on their own 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Trojans on their own 30. Well, we'll see if the Trojans have anything up their sleeve tonight as Dreyer checks out of the ball game for UDA on his 1st and 10. Wolf flanked on the near side. Robinstein on the far side with Fight in the slot over here. 1st and 10 from the shotgun. Send Fight in motion over to the far side of the field. And Amour wants to throw. Dumps a little screen over there for Fight. This time he's going to be hit in the backfield. A loss of about 5 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd down. Or an incomplete. Okay, they called it incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10. Couldn't even tell from here. But 2nd down and 10. Timeout called by the Trojans. Timeout with 7:27 remaining here in the first half. Trojans trailing 14-7, but when we come back, they'll have a 2nd and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Timeout is over. The Trojans ready to go back to work here now on a 2nd and 10. In motion to the far side goes Markle. Amour has it, fires it over the middle, and it's complete. And a nice catch made out there by Lesher. They'll give him the forward progress to the 48-yard line. Nice catch by that Lesher that time. And the rain continues to pound us here at UDA. It's on the 48-yard line. Look at the 50-yard line marker out here. It's getting a puddle all over it. Anyway, 1st and 10, and now timeout called again by the Trojans.
Timeout called by Everett.
So Coach DeFrancesco swims out to the huddle, and he'll be able to tell these guys what's going on here. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're ready now. The Trojan timeout is over. 1st and 10, UD. Fight comes in motion to the near side of the field this time. Quarterback, he hands it off. Up the middle with it goes Cooper. Coop down inside the 30-yard line. They're going to mark his forward. Probably where are they going to put him? Well, going to set him at the 32. Fine run that time by that Cody Cooper. Picking up another big 1st down for the Trojans. And the Trojans, maybe the harder it rains, the better they play. I'm not sure. There must be a water-cooled engine out there. Robinstein flanks on the far side on this 1st down play from the 32-yard line. Again, it's Cooper, and Cooper breaks his way down through the middle for about 8 yards. A nice run that time for Coop down to the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
Picked up 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
And about 8 on the
Nice run by that Cody Cooper. Cooper running hard out there. Fight checks out of the ball game for UDA. 2nd and 2 coming up for the Trojans. Ball on the 25-yard line of the Juniata Indians. See what we can do on a 2nd and 2. Long count this time. Hit, gonna throw, looking. Wants to set a screen. Fires one over this way. It is incomplete. If it was caught, I don't know if it was or not. They rule that incomplete or not sure. Markle had no chance to get that one.
24-yard line, gain of a yard. 3rd down.
3rd down and 8. 3rd and 8. Down at the 25-yard line. 3rd and 2, I may have said 8. 3rd down and 2. Make that from the 25-yard line. Big play here for UDA. Need to get a first down or a touchdown. This time he's going to throw it again. Dumps it over the middle. It's caught by Cooper. Cooper on his feet down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Trojans, I believe, at the 9-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. I think it is inside the 10. Nice pass and a great catch by that Cody Cooper in the rain. Slippery ball to throw, the same slippery ball to catch. Wow. It is 1st and goal UD at the 9-yard line of Juniata Indians. Okay, let's see what happens here. It's going to be Markle with it. Markle over the right side. Markle down inside the 5. Down to about the 3-yard line, somewhere in there. Looks like at about the 2 or 3. 2nd down and goal for the Trojans from the 3. 2nd and goal from the 3. 4:10 remaining here in the first half of the ball game. Trojans looking to see if we can't tie up this ball game now. 2nd and goal from the 3. Now Moore, whoa, wait a minute. The ball got loose in there on the snap. And we got to hope that the Trojans come up with it. Yep, we did. 3rd down and goal. Lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and goal from the, well, no, we didn't lose a yard, really. 3rd and goal from the 3. Field had a couple of wet spots on it when we began, but boy, it's quickly becoming overly saturated, super saturated as they call it. 3rd and goal. We'll go in close on him here and see what he does with it. 3rd and goal from the 3. He's going to throw it. Dumps one over this way. It is complete for a touchdown. It is Lesher making the catch in there, a 1.5 yards deep. Good little lob throw that time by Anson Amour to Josh Lesher. And Lesher putting it home, taking it in for the touchdown. Nice job that time by that Lesher, and a good pass from Anson Amour. And once again, the toe is into the ball game. That is Zinger. Zig Zinger in there to see if he can't tie up this ball game. Here's the snap. Snap is good. Placement down. Kick is up. Kick is blocked. Blocked the kick that time, and that just was a matter of no one blocking on the rush that the Juniata Indians put on the extra point. So the Trojans trail by 1 now, 14-13, but they're playing some good football here in the rain at UDA. 3:06 remaining in the ball game. Uh-oh, now what? Now I'm not sure what they're going to do here. Now they're going to hold the game up for, or post call it, or what's it called, or something. There. Something's going on. I'm not sure exactly what. What's that? Anybody know? Lightning. Oh, lightning. I didn't see it. Okay, we had a lightning flash here, and so they're going to hold the game up for a little while. And we've got 3:06 left here in the first half when this game is temporarily halted with a score. Juniata 14, the UDA Trojans 13. We'll be right back in a moment with the second half. Well, we're about set to continue here now with a long rain delay and storm delay. 3 minutes, 6 seconds remaining here in the first half. They're going to continue right through the first half. There will be no halftime. We've just had a long delay, and we're ready to kick off now. We'll kick off following that Upper Dauphin touchdown. So the Trojans will tee it up here now and get ready to kick off to the Indians. Here comes the kick. It's a low kick, going to spiral on down. It'll be taken at the 28-yard line by one of the upbacks for the Juniata Indians, and he's still on his feet out here to the 47-yard line. A good run back considering the conditions. Finally stood up out there by Markle, among others. But good return to the 48-yard line of Juniata. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians at that spot. 2:55 remaining in the official first half of this ball game, as Williams is at quarterback for the Juniata Indians. Rain still coming down, but very lightly, not nearly like it had been before. Here's a pitch back over to that 12, Brian. Brian around the left side over there and gets some good running room, still on his feet, all the way down into Trojan territory at the 28-yard line. Got it spotted somewhere down around the 30. Let's see where they put it. Actually at the 30-yard line of UDA, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians now. Big gain on that play. Trojans didn't want to see that. Trojans trailing by 1, 14-13. Brian with a good run that time. Again, Williams, this time he'll pitch it back over this way. Coming around this side for a couple of yards. Now they'll stop him pretty nicely in there. Sims along with Harmon and Wolf making the stop out there. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 26-yard line of UDA, or 27-yard line, make it. 2nd down, 7. Second and 7. Williams this time pitches over to that 33 Boyd. He'll turn around the left side over there and gets himself another 1st down. Finally stopped out there by Lesher along with Copenhaver, but not before they get another 1st down to the 19-yard line of Upper Dauphin. So the Trojans now have got to tighten up the defense here quickly. The Indians on a roll here. Down at the 19. Minute 36 left here in the first half of play. Got to hold them here. Quarterback hands this one off to that 40 guy, and he slips through a bunch of would-be tacklers until finally stopped out there by Kephart and Sims on the stop. But another gain on the play, picking up 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and a long 3 or 4. Call it 2nd and 4. Gain of 6. Well, now at the 11-yard line of Upper Dauphin. We don't want to have them come right in here. Let's see a fumble or something here. Pitch back over this way. He'll turn it upfield down to the 5, 4, 3, and dives into the end zone for a touchdown, I believe. No signal yet. Nope. No signal, but a 1st and goal from the 1. And timeout called by the Indians. Timeout with 45 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. Juniata timeout is over now. It's 1st and goal from the 1-yard line for the Indians. So we'll see what they do here with it. Williams, the quarterback, he's going to sneak it in if he can. I'm not sure if he made that or not. Doesn't look like it. No indication from the officials yet. And it's going to be second and goal. 33 seconds remaining. Second and goal. The Trojans held that time on the attempted sneak by Williams, but Trojans held out, and a timeout again called by the Juniata Indians, this time with 25 seconds remaining on the halftime clock. Okay, time back in again now. 25 seconds remaining. Second and goal from the 1. Actually, second and goal from about a foot or so. Probably the length of the football. So let's see if we can hold them up here. Second and 1. This time it's going to be 40, and he'll probably get the forward progress, and no indication yet. Nope, no indication at all. The Trojans stood him up pretty quickly right there at the line of scrimmage. The crowd and the folks from Juniata getting a little excited about the calls here, but nevertheless, with 10 seconds remaining,
Looks like the defense.
it's Trojans have held third and goal with 10 seconds remaining here, and timeout again called by the Juniata Indians. So, got 10 seconds left. It'll be third down and goal from the 1. Perhaps the last play. Juniata with no more timeouts. So, one more crack at it, and we'll see what happens. Well, they corrected the clock now and put 15 seconds back on there, but nevertheless, it's the last play as far as the Juniata Indians are concerned, due to the fact that they have no timeout, so they can't stop it. If they don't make it this time, we'll stay in here. They have that number 40 Smith lined up as the fullback, but the tailback gets the call. He goes in unopposed that time. That's that Zach Bryan for 6, makes it a 20-13 ball game now with 10 seconds remaining here in the first half, and an extra point try coming up here for the Juniata Indians. Well, the Trojans held, but that time it went off tackle and had plenty of blocking ahead of them and went in for 6. They will attempt to kick the extra point. Now this will be a big extra point try here for the Juniata Indians. Let's see what kind of a snap they get. Snap's good. Placement's done. Kick is up. Kick is good. So it's now 21-13 with 10 seconds remaining here in the first half of the ball game. Juniata's kickoff coming up here in just a second. Wolfite and Robinstein back to receive this kick from the Juniata Indian kicker, who happens to be that Zach Bryan. He's the kicker on the team also. Here comes his kick. It's a boot that's going to come down here and be taken by Wolf. Wolf at the 20, the 25, and up to the 27-yard line before he is brought down out there with 4 seconds remaining in the first half. So the Trojans will have a chance to run one play here, and then we'll just change positions on the field and continue on with the ball game since we had that long delay. There will not be a halftime. So the Juniata Indians back in a pass prevent defense here, send everybody back. They've got a 3-man rush coming up here, but we'll see. Moore handing it off. Up the middle with it goes Cooper, I believe it is. Coop runs it out for about 7 yards, but it'll be the end of the first half on that play. So at the end of the one half of the ball game, Juniata 21 and the UDA Trojans 13. Co-captains will meet at midfield now as we get set for the second half. Kephart, Stadheim, and Harmon. Yeah, couldn't think of his name. Josh Harmon out there or Troy Harmon for the Trojans. No names for the Juniata Indians. Juniata will receive the kick to begin the second half of play. So Trojans hope to kick it deep and hold them back there. We'll see. The rain very, very lightly now, just sprinkling down here. Beginning of the second half, now the Trojans will kick off right to left here or south to north at the ballpark. and they will be defending the south goal here at the UDA Stadium. Markle has it teed up to kick it off. Two guys back deep to receive the kick for Juniata. Here's his kick, and it is going to go back here and be taken at the 21-yard line. To the 25, up to the 30 goes with it, and he's finally wrestled down out there as Dreyer puts a stop on him. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for Juniata at the 43-yard line of Juniata. Good field position for the Indians to begin this series. Now the Trojans, last time Juniata had the ball just moments before the end of the first half, they drove it down and finally scored. So the Trojans got to dig it in tightly now and see if we can play some good defense here. Williams pitches it back over there to that Boyd. Boyd around the left side for about 11 yards. It'll be a 1st down for the Indians as Boyd carries it to the 46-yard line of Upper Dauphin. First down on the first play. So Trojans have got to really see if they can tighten it up here. From the shotgun formation they go. Pitches back here to Boyd again, I think it is, and this time he's going to be tackled on a good stop by Wolf. Brent coming up there and making the stop on him. Schertzer, the ball carrier for the Indians. Picked up 2 to 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8 from the Trojan 44. Handoff, he's going to keep it this time, and he's tackled nicely out there. 78, James Peck coming up and make the stop on him.
Brought down by Peck.
After a gain of 2 more, or maybe a yard, whatever. 3rd down and 6. Gain of 2 on the play, actually. 3rd down and 6. Ball on the 42-yard line of the Trojans. Now a big play coming up here for the UDA defense. Handoff coming over this way. They've got some running room now. And as he cuts it down the right side here and is tripped up. He kind of trips himself up over Wolf that time, did that Schertzer. But another big gain on the play. Takes it all the way down to the 26-yard line of the Trojans. And another Indian 1st down. So got to get in there and stop these guys. First and 10 from the 26. Pitch back over that way to Schertzer. She'll cut it up field and get tackled in there as Harmon comes up, puts a good stop on him. Or,
40 on the tackle.
no, it was a 40. Make that 63, not 61. 40 on the stop. Picked up 8. Ball now at the about the 18-yard line or something like that of the Trojans. Big gain on the play now. The Indians starting to grind out the yardage here on the Trojans here as we began after the rain delay. And up the middle with it goes a whole bunch of fellas right down in for a touchdown. From about 18 yards out, he goes in for the touchdown. And that makes the score now 27-13 with another extra point try coming up here for the Indians. Well, they will try to kick the extra point. So, and it looks good from here. No good. Okay, no good. 27-13. Oh, well, 9:06 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. The Trojans trailing now 27-13. We'll be right back. Well, the Juniata are getting ready to kick off again now following their 4th touchdown of the ball game. And here comes that kick. A line drive kick going to go over the far side. Picked up over here by Wolf. And Wolf coming back with it. And he is going to be thrown down about the 25-yard line. Wolf gets thrown out of bounds. Schertzer making the stop out there for the
4-yard line.
Juniata Indians. And so the Trojans will put it in play on the 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Cooper checking into the ball game along with quarterback Moore. And checking out now will be like Lesher checks out of the ball game. Up the middle with it goes Cooper.
Cooper, the ball carrier up the middle.
Cooped overhead for about a 2-yard gain. Be 2nd down and 8. Second and 8. Now we got to get something going here. Let's see what we can do with this one. From the shotgun goes Anson Moore, or from the right over center. He wants to throw, getting a rush, but now he fires one down the far side over there. It's incomplete, intended for Robinstein, but a little bit too far ahead of Ty. And it goes an incompletion, bring up a 3rd down and 8.
Bring up a 3rd down and 8.
3rd and 8. Moore has it, has some time, fires one over the middle. It is incomplete. I'm not exactly sure where that was supposed to be, to Lesher, I guess.
Bring up a 4th down.
But goes an incompletion. It'll be 4th down, and the Trojans will be obliged to punt the ball out of there now, as the Indians will send back Bryan to receive this punt. Markle will be stepping up to about his own 16-yard line to get this one off. And here it comes. There is a personal foul on the kicker is going to be called here. There is a flag down here as the Indians flattened Markle that time. And it's a 15-yard penalty.
It's only a 5-yard penalty.
Roughing the kicker.
It's not roughing, you just ran into it.
Oh, run into him.
The whole team except the guy catching the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Penalty will be tacked on to the receiving team. Now they're gonna actually gonna decline the penalty.
Penalty, so we'll take the result of the play, and the Indians will
Okay.
down on the 37.
No yardage lost that time. They declined to take the penalty. And so they'll put the ball at the 37-yard line or 38-yard line. We'll see. 37-yard line of the Indians, where the Indians will put it in play now, 1st and 10. First and 10, Indians on their own 37. Williams sends that 12 guys in motion, and he is going to be stopped. Nice tackle made over there by a couple of Trojans. It's going to be Lesher along with Kephart.
Gain of 1, 2nd down 9.
Picked up a yard to the 38. 2nd and 9. 7.5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 9. Williams still has it, brings it over this way, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. Nice stop. Gain of about 4 on the play
42.
to the 42-yard line.
And I'll bring up
I think it was Wiest getting up off that pile last that time. Picked up 4, 2nd down and 5, or 3rd down and 5. Trojans got to hold them right here now. Let's see if we can do that. Pitches over here and coming along this side. He's got the first down as he gets tripped up around the 49-yard line. It will be a first down. Wolf in there on the stop along with Sims that time for UD. But not until he gained the first down by about a yard or two. Picking up about 7 on the play out to the 50-yard line. So Juniata, 1st and 10, right at midfield with 6:24 left here in the third quarter. Playing right on in front of us here right now. Up the middle with it goes the fullback, and boy, does he have some good yardage. Another first down to the 38-yard line of Upper Dauphin. Big run that time by that Indian. Forney made the stop in the secondary deep after a gain of about 12 or so on the play. Another first down for the Indians. So the Trojans come out here after the rain delay, and the defense stayed in the locker room the way it would appear. Quarterback has it. Williams will be tackled. Cooper in there has him by the legs. Also on the stop is Peck. Flag on the play. And here's the call. Helping the runner, okay. And that's going to take them back 5, I guess. I'm not sure. You don't see that called too often. Five-yard penalty moves the ball back now to the 40-yard line, to 41-yard line. Makes it a first down and 12 now for the Indians. 1st and 12. So let's see if the Trojans can take advantage of that now. 1st and 12. Pitch is back here. He's going to throw. Looking downfield. Fires one. There's a man out. It's going to be intercepted. Picked off here by Wolf. Wolf has it, and he's going to be tackled at about the 20-yard line, 25-yard line.
Brings it back out.
3 defenders back there on that play that time, and Brent Wolf able to pick that one off. And so the Trojans have it now on their own 25-yard line. Let's see if we can do something with it.
Which one was it, 23 or 33?
23, I think it was. First down on the UD 25-yard line now. Here's a Moore, hands it off. Coming over this way is Markle. Markle for maybe no gain on the play. Nothing that time. Second and 10. Trojans will flood this side this time. Robinstein, the lone wideout on the far side of the field this time on this, and hold everything. Timeout. Time called Juniata. 4:24 left here in the third quarter. It's 27-13. Juniata Trojans, when we come back, we'll have a second down and 10. Okay, the Juniata timeout is over, and the Trojans go back to work here now, looking at a second down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Ensign Amore in the shotgun formation this time as the Trojans try to get some yardage going here. He'll drop back to throw. Throws a screen over the far side, but it just took a little bit too long, or I don't think he Caught that, did he? It was a pass for Markle, but yeah, I guess they said he received it because they gave him a 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 12. .340 remaining here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 12 for UDA. From the I formation go the Trojans this time as Moore will fake it. Look to throw. Dumps one over this side. It is incomplete. Intended for Markle, but that'll bring up a 4th down play now. And the Trojans will be punting the ball away. Indians will send number 12, Brian, back to receive this punt from Zach Markle. Hold everything. Penalty on UD. Trojans pick up a false start on that play, so they're marched back 5 now. And that means that Markle will be stepping up to around his own 9-yard line to get this one off. Pretty good snap. Here's the kick. High. And gets a good UD roll back to the 37 or 8-yard line.
Markle's kick is a good one. The roll fed down inside the 40 at the
So
7-yard line.
that's where the Indians will put it in play now. 1st and 10 for Juniata with 3:13 remaining here in the third quarter. First and 10. Handoff is to the fullback, and he gets a couple of yards before Harmon converges on him, along with Forney. Or was it Wiest? Maybe it was Wiest. I think it was Jesse Wiest, 51 instead of 61. At any rate, gain of 2 on the play. Be 2nd down and 8. Pitches over this way and cutting it upfield for a couple of yards he goes. Jordan Fight taking Schertzer down on that one.
Jordan Fight on the stop for the Trojans.
Gain of 3 more. It'll be
42.
3rd down and 6.
3rd down.
Ball at the 42-yard line now of the Juniata Indians. 3rd and 6. So the Trojans here again with an opportunity to hold them here and get the ball back. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Big play. Pitch back there to that 12 guy, and he leaps ahead, gets the 1st down, and some more now as he drives it to the 48-yard line of Upper Dauphin. Zach Bryan on the carry that time for the Juniata Indians.
Fight on the stop for the Trojans.
Down to the 47, I guess. Another 1st down for the Juniata Ball Club. Minute and a half remaining here in the third quarter. Fullback has it again, following some blocking and still on his feet, still got the ball, still traveling downfield until finally he is tackled by Robinstein, and Sims making the stop out here, but not till he gets to the Trojan 24-yard line. 23 says, well, 23, 24, whatever. Looks like the 24 from here, and it is 1st and 10. Juniata once again now. Minute 10 remaining in the third quarter.
Oh, they were.
Quarterback hands it this time, and it's going to be slipping away. And there is that Brian. Brian picks up 4. Be 2nd down and 6. Ball now at the 20-yard line of the Trojans. Okay, 2nd and 3 for Juniata now. From the 17-yard line of Upper Dauphin. Williams will hand this one off, and coming around this side he goes, and he's going to be still on his feet. He drags for another extra yard until he's finally hit in there by Wiest along with Forney.
About the 11-yard line.
Down to the 11, but enough for the first down. So it's 1st and 10 from the 11 for Juniata.
1st and 10 on the 12.
Spot the ball on the 12. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Pitches over there to that Schertzer. Schertzer around the right side. Tries to cut it upfield. Gets it inside the 10 to maybe the 8-yard line, somewhere around there. Colva and Wolf and Wiest making the stop out there. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And maybe 4. Yep. Ball now on the UD 8. See if we can keep them off here. This time it'll be that 40 guy running it in for 6. Smith takes it in for 6 more for Juniata. That makes the score now Juniata 33, the UDA 13. With another extra point try coming up here for the Indians.
Juniata 34, Upper Dauphin 13.
Set to kick off. Here we go with that kickoff. Down the left side over there. Here comes Robinstein with it. It looks like some hold, but Robinstein all the way out here to the 44-yard line. Nice run back that time by Ty Robinstein. And UD will put it in play in good field position on their own 44-yard line. Oh, we'll see if the Trojans can figure out this defense of the Indians now coming back here since the resumption of play. The Trojans have not been able to put a point on the board, so still have 10-17 remaining here in the ball game. See if we can do something with it here. Taylor Snyder, 64, is in the line there for UD. 1st and 10. Back to pass he goes. He's looking. Fires one down the far side. Man is out there, but oh, wait a minute. That was intended for Dreyer. The only one that had a chance on that was Schertzer. It'll be 2nd and 10. Second and 10 from the 44. Moore again in the shotgun formation. Looks like he's going to hand this one off this time, and it's going to be Cooper. Gets a couple of yards out over the 45 to the 46. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Coop picked up 2 on the carry that time. Look at Fight's jersey. Wow. Looks like he was laying in a mud puddle somewhere. Anyway, 3rd and 8. See if Anson can find somebody this time. He's going to look to throw. He's going to keep it. Now he throws it down the middle. It's going to be complete to Lesher, and Lesher gets the first down to the 41 or 39-yard line of the Indians. Nice catch and a nice run after the catch that time by that Josh Lesher. First and 10 UD. To throw. He gets a rush. Gets away from one guy, but then he's got swarmed under back here at the 50-yard line. Amour could find no one open that time, and the loss takes the ball back to the 49-yard line. Second and long coming up here for UD. Second and long here for UD from the midfield stripe nearly. Back to pass he goes. Amour fires one down the middle, and it is intercepted by the Indians. Back he comes with it, running all the way down the right side, and he'll be tackled finally as number 4, Anson Amour, is the guy that brings him down finally, but it's at the Trojan 30-yard line. It's first and 10, Juniata on the UDA 30-yard line. First and 10, Juniata on the Trojan 30. Pitches back there for that 23. Schertzer breaking some tackles and gonna go in for a score from 30 yards out. Schertzer carries it in for Juniata, and now makes the score 40-13. And another extra point try coming for the Juniata Indians. Here's your extra point try. Whoops, a little bit low on the snap, so he's going to try to throw it for 2, and it's going to be short and incomplete. So at the end, with there's 45 seconds remaining here in this game, it's now 40-13 Juniata. Juniata set to kick off again here now with 7:45 remaining in the ball game. Comes down here, and let's see who's got it. It's going to be Fight with it. And Fight will take it to the 22 or 3 yard line, and that's where it'll be put in play by the Trojans.
Brings it up to the 23-yard line.
Amour goes over center this time on his first and 10 from his own 22-yard line. Hand off to the second man through there, and that's going to be Cooper.
Cooper, the ball carrier.
Coop gets himself about 3. It'll be second and 7.
Gain up to the 26. Gain of 3.
Second and 7 for UD. Trojans will go again from the shotgun this time, so we'll stay back and see if Anson can find somebody open. He's going to roll left, looking, and now he breaks out of the pocket and gets a couple of more yards out to the 30 or 31 yard line.
Taken down at the 30-yard line.
Is there a flag over there? Flag on the play was illegal formation against UDA. They're discussing it here with the Indians, and they'll take them back. Illegal procedure or whatever.
The ball back.
So it brings up a second and 12 now for UDA. Ball back to the 21 yard line. Amour was the lost the handle on it, and I'm not sure who has it, but kind of lost the handle, and it's going to be returned by or recovered by Juniata on the Trojan 14 yard line. Wow. Juniata recovers the fumble on the UD 14 yard line.
got it, the kitchen.
Yep, they're all in there. Here goes that Schertzer again, and he runs into some opposition right around the 14-yard line. Host of Trojans in there, Gephardt, among others. Wolf. Cooper. No, 20. I got 28, I guess it is.
1 yard on the play.
Picked up a yard. 2nd and 9 now. Ball at the UD 13-yard line. Coming over this way is number 33, Boyd, and he goes in for the touchdown.
Juniata touchdown.
And that makes the score now 46-13.
32.
Extra point try coming up here once again for the Juniata Indians. We'll see what happens here. Kick looks good, and it is.
It is good.
5:07 remaining in the ball game. It's now 47-13, and set with the Juniata kickoff here in just a moment. Okay, we're set for that Juniata kickoff once again. 5:07 left here in the ball game. Here it comes, and there it goes. It's going to be taken by Fight, I believe it is, and Fight running it all the way back here, ducks the head and comes out here to the 34-yard line.
Fight on the return.
And or out make that the 38-yard line,
Start 1st and 10 from their own 38.
and that's where the Trojans will put it in play. Weist coming off here a little bit shaken up, I believe. And timeout called now. I think the Trojans are going to put another squad in here. Let's see. I think they are, yep. 5 minutes remaining in this ball game. New squad in there now for the Trojans. Kuppenhaver will be the quarterback for UD. Cody Huffman will be running one of the running backs in there. Dreyer's going to come off the field here, I think, and let's see. A lot of brand new jerseys out there now for Coach Klingensmith's Juniata Indians. Huffman has it. Tries to turn this side over here, and he's going to be at the 40. Still on his feet, bumped out of bounds, and a flag thrown on the play. We'll have a late hit probably. We'll see.
Taken out of bounds at the 42.
Personal foul on the Juniata Indians.
Personal foul is the call.
That should add about 15 to that run, I believe, and give the Trojans a first down. At the 42, should take him to the, oh, where's he going? Wow. First down to the 43-yard line of the Indians.
First down and 10 Trojans.
1st and 10 UD. Dreyer does remain in the ball game for UD. First and 10 from the Juniata 43-yard line. Hand off is again this time to Huffman, but Huffman trapped in the backfield. Cody didn't get a chance to go anywhere with that one, as he is trapped back there immediately. As soon as he got the handoff, there were a couple of Indians all over him. Loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
2nd down at 14.
2nd down coming up here for UD. 4:10 left in the ball game. And this time it'll be Kuppenhaver keeping it and dragging himself for some good yardage. Tyler Kuppenhaver all the way down to the 37-yard line. Picked up about 10 yards on the play. It'll be third down and three or four. Ball at UD 37. They look at it here. Joe Kerwin coming off the field for UD. Kuppenhaver has it. He fires one down the far side, and it is incomplete. Intended for Dreyer. Scott Albright out there in the vicinity also, but Scott looked to see where the ball was going to be thrown to. He thought Dreyer was going to catch that one and just watched it go by. So it's fourth down and 4 for UD. 3:12 remaining in the ball game. Okay, the Juniata timeout is over. Trojans go back at it now. Fourth down play coming up here, so the Trojans need to get about 4. Whoops, ball is on the ground and then picked up by Kuppenhaver. And that'll turn it over now on downs to Juniata, wherever they give him his forward progress to the 40-yard line. And so Juniata will take over on their own 40-yard line. It'll be first and 10 Indians. 3:06 left here in the ball game. First down Indians from the 40-yard line. Quarterback will keep it this time, and he's got some yardage out of that play. That spinning himself and skidding ahead for just about 5 yards. It'll be a gain of 5, second down and 5. Second down, 5. Pitch over there for that 30-something guy. I'm not sure who it was, but he has the first down.
Getting down to the Trojan 46. That'll be enough for Juniata first down.
First and 10 Juniata on the Trojan 46-yard line with 2:13 remaining in the ball game. The guy still on his feet. He's going to race all the way down for a touchdown from 46 yards out. He gets in for 6. Yep. And that makes the score now 53-13. And an extra point try coming up. We're going to attempt to attack on their 54th point here now, so we'll see if it is good or whatever. Nope, muffed up the kick, but he's going to run it in anyway for 2. Okay, so it makes it 53 or 55 rather, to 13 with 1:42 remaining. And back with the Juniata kickoff once again.
What are we going to do? We're not going to come back and do 32. Well, I don't know. We might.
Set with the kick here now. And here it goes. Line drive taken out here. Well, then picked back up here by, was it Fight? Yep. He'll bring it out to the 35-yard line. The Trojans will put it in play. First and 10. 1:30, a minute and a half remaining here in this ball game. Gonna keep it is Huffman and or not Huffman, I guess it was Kuppenhaver. Inside of a minute to play, Trojans will go 1-7. And Juniata will improve to 3-3 in the league, 4-4 overall. Five and 3 overall for Juniata. And that play is going to do it now, as the final score here tonight is going to be the Juniata Indians 55 and the Trojans 13. So for about 22 minutes of this game, it was a 14-13 ball game. But after the rain delay, it was all Juniata. Trojan defense just could not stop the Indians at all. And the scoreboard shows that now, 55-13 differential. So we'll have to see what we can do here. Tighten up the defense for next week's ball game against the Tri-Valley Bulldogs right here again.